Let's do this.
All right, we're ready. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. Today, I don't know how I pulled these strings. I'm telling you, the Butterfly Effect podcast is going up because I have a local Minnesota celebrity in the building today. He is the owner of J.Blasé and Friends. DJ J.Blasé. And you can
we might
cut
need to
that.
record
I was
that.
going to say, no, I did not rehearse that.
I have witnesses. That's mine.
You can cut that piece.
I need that.
I just, give me a shout out on the podcast.
I got you, 100%. 100%.
I would love to do that.
Let's do it.
We
haven't started recording official. Well, we have, but we're 10 seconds in and we're already working on the next thing.
I can work with the accent too.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm so serious. I need a new drop. So we're in.
You guys! You heard it first!
Hold me to it.
You're free, but anybody else after this, I'm starting to charge.
There you go. You heard it.
But thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invite. I kind of invited myself.
You did, but I appreciate it because I was honored.
I was like, I've been watching what you've been doing. Super dope. Love that, everything you do seems very genuine, which I love, and can be rare to find, unfortunately. So I was like, yeah, can I come on here? So,
oh my gosh. No, thank you for saying that, because I try really hard to be authentic. It's not easy, because there's a lot of different, especially in the podcasting or social media, you can get famous very quickly by doing inauthentic things. I feel like I'm looking for longevity and being, at the end of the day, as long as I was staying true to myself and doing things that made me happy, I will never care where this goes.
For sure.
So thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
So we know each other through Jawan.
Shout out to cousin Jawan. That's my boy.
I heard the booing. I'm just kidding.
No shade on Jawan on this app. That's my guy.
No, we're not defending him on this episode.
I got your back, bro. If no one else defends you, I will.
No, Jawan knows I love him. He's the best. But I do have to say, your friend is already a better guest than you, because he brought me caramel cake, fruit. Notice how I said he brought me and didn't request. Just saying. And vitamin water. The best. So honestly, anyone who comes after, step it up.
Hey, I was raised old school. You never come to someone's house empty-handed. So.
I like it. I like it. I respect those morals. But, okay, you are a DJ.
I am.
A Minnesota celebrity.
I don't know about that one.
I would say so. Okay, you're big time.
I'm trying to be.
How did you... you've done a lot of interviews where you've talked about specifically DJ stuff, and we're going to get into some of it, but I really want to hear, give them a background for some of the people who don't know who you are, how you got to where you are.
Okay.
Give us all the dirty details and where the passion started and how you got here.
Okay. That's a long-winded story, so let me see if I can try to break it down and make it as exciting. Make it as exciting as it can be. So I'm raised from a single mother. Every time I was going to school, my mom was always playing music in the car. Mm-hmm. So that's where my love for music came at a young age. But a skill set like DJing, no one can really teach someone that. It's a very expensive process in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I was always interested in music, but never thought about it correlating to DJing. In high school, I worked a lot of different sales jobs. My mom always made sure I knew how to talk, so I was always talking and doing these sales jobs, but they never really amounted to anything. I sold cars, I worked at Wells Fargo, did all these things that were corporate-based, which typically meant commission-based, which I hated because I don't think I should have to work for my money in that way. And we can talk about that whenever. Because, we most entrepreneurs, we really are entrepreneurs because we're scorned from, 9-to-5 corporations. We're all never again. Because you're just getting worked, and you're not getting the credibility you deserve. Whatever that is, whether some people want the recognition, some people want the pay. It's so much harder to work into that field if you don't have the resources. So I quit that. I worked at Wells Fargo, and this was right around when Wells Fargo was having a bunch of sales scams. I don't know if you remember that, but it was really crazy. I do,
because I worked at Capital One.
Yeah, so I worked at Wells Fargo in Minnetonka, and they were just constantly trying to do elderly abuse to old women who were I can't remember my PIN to my debit card. They're like, go get her a credit card. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So I made a deal with my mom. I said, look, I need to quit this job. It's stressing me out. If you give me 12 months of me not giving me lesser bills, I was still helping around the house, but give me 12 months where I can travel around, figure out what I want to do. I'll go back to Wells Fargo if I have to, but I think I'll find something better. So my mom is my dog.
What a blessing.
Yeah, she's a real one. So I'm an only child, so our friendship is best friends. So she was like, all right, we'll figure it out. So I went on 3 trips that year, and fast forward, I left Wells Fargo in January. So I said if I wasn't working by the next January, I'll go back to Wells Fargo. So fast forward to December, I went on one more big trip. I went to Miami. There's an event called Art Basel there. I went there. Ended up like 2 a.m. I was drinking. I was with some friends, and I was like, I kind of just like I had this like weird like come to Jesus moment where I was just like looking around, and the crowd is like so diverse. There's people who didn't even speak English who were just having like a ball. Yeah. And I was like, I looked at my friend. I was like, I think I can do this, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure I can do this. And he was like, yeah, for sure you can. Like, he's drunk, so he doesn't really care. So I like started looking up DJ equipment, and I ordered one. By the time I got back home, so I was there for like 4 or 5 days. Ordered it, taught myself how to do it on YouTube, and then by January the next day I had my first show. It was live, but I did it. And then
wait, say that timeline again.
So from January to January, I was in Miami that December. I was in the second week of December.
And then that January.
Yeah. I
Your
did my
first
first
show?
Yeah, shout out to Piff. If anybody knows the sneaker store Piff, they had a grand opening of a new location. And they were like, yeah, you can come DJ. It was free because those were my guys. They were like, figured out. And I was like, I'm not that good, but like, let's do it. And it was like hundreds of people kind of coming and going, but it was stressful for sure. So that was like my first official ever live show.
That's huge.
Yeah, and it's a full circle thing because now a couple months ago they just had a new grand opening of another store, and I got to DJ again. So
no
way!
It was super awesome.
Yeah,
that's
super
awesome. So cool.
So
what were you feeling in that first set? Like
the most insecure I've probably ever been, because it's like, are people liking this?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't realize like DJing is like all people reading. Like, some people are terrible at transitions and like the mechanics of DJing, but they're really good at selecting what the crowd wants to listen to. Mm-hmm. So I was really nervous about that. I'm like, okay, I like these songs, but are they gonna like them? And are my friends gonna just say they like it because it's me, or are they actually enjoying it?
Oh my god, yeah.
So that was like the thing I was like anxious about. So it was like the longest 2 hours or 3 hours of like my life at the time. I was like, this is taking so long. Like, I'm just like looking around and like, is everyone liking it or whatever? So I'm sure I look nuts. I'm sure I'm just like making eye contact. Yeah. I'm sure just like, you having a good time? Like, so it was like super stressful, but it was a good stress to have. And then that kind of like gave me validation, like, okay, there's something here. And then I just kept on YouTube, kept learning, kept practicing, and I just monkey barred my way into having shows. Now I get to do stuff with the Twins. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, did you just hear that part? He's partnered with the Twins. Yeah. The Minnesota Twins. The MLB baseball team. Like, that's crazy. How did that happen?
So, in my various DJing, so I've been DJing for about 5 years now, and in 5 years, however many gigs. DJing is my full-time job since I've started doing it. So I haven't had to work.
No way.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. It's a blessing, like, because I've like known people my whole life, and I consider myself pretty nice. Like, I'm nice to people. I'm pretty cool. So when I started DJing, when I started DJing, people naturally started reaching out to me of like, hey, there's an opportunity for you over here, because people knew me as a genuine person.
Exactly.
So it's just kind of monkey barred into the situation. And then my buddy Craig, shout out to Craig, he invited me to a Twins game, and one of the Twins reps was there. And he introduced himself to me, and I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Blasé. He ended up looking up my social media after. I don't know if it was because Craig tagged me in a story or anything. And he saw what I did with youth. He saw that I worked with high schoolers, and my branding was really diverse, and I don't swear on social media. I don't do anything too crazy. And he was like, hey, would you want to have a partnership with the Twins? And I was like, to be honest, I'm not the hugest baseball fan. Like, I was like, had to be completely honest, because I was like, they're gonna like quiz me if I like go somewhere. So I just had to be genuine.
I know a home run, and that is it.
Yeah, so I was like, I got no basic rules of baseball, but I'm not like, can't name our whole roster. I can't do anything too crazy. And they're like, actually, we want you to show people who are a casual fan what it's like to be a casual fan.
Ooh.
So it's pretty awesome. So they hired me to be a brand ambassador. I pretty much get to go to games and eat mini donuts and tell people to come hang out, and they give me a discount code to hook my homies up.
So are you playing at the games? Like, how does that
Not
work?
every game. So I've got to DJ like 3 games, which is pretty random. They have a plethora of DJs they use.
Yeah.
So I actually worked into me having a DJ partnership with them this year. So I DJed 2 games last year, and I'll DJ a couple this year. But they really only wanted me as like a social media influencer, which is so really funny. Yeah.
Wow.
So they were like, we really just want you to like make TikToks and like show people. And then as they got to know me, I was like, well, I'm an influencer from DJing. Yeah. So why would you not hire me to DJ? And they were like, I don't know why we didn't think of that. And the rest is history. Yeah. So I'm the first person to have that like joint venture. So it's pretty awesome.
And you made your own position.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah,
That's super
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. And I'm super blessed from it. It's crazy. Like, when you've been in entrepreneurship long enough, like, you start thinking like, what's the worst that could happen? All they're gonna do is say no. Yeah. So you have to take the leap. Because if I would have never asked, it never would have been given to me.
I really like that you said that, because that's something that I really struggle with. Like, I think it's called imposter syndrome that I really, like, I just don't, Like, I know I'm talented and I know I'm striving to be the best version of myself, and that's what everything falls down to. Yeah. But I don't like asking for things. I don't like putting myself in positions where I could be rejected or said no to, because there's a part of me who maybe doesn't believe I'm good enough. I mean, I do, but like, you know what I mean. I still have insecurities, and so that is something that I want to get better at. It's really scary.
Right.
So how do you overcome that?
Well, my thing is, okay, if they say no, you're in the same position you're in now.
I know.
So what's the worry?
I know, that makes sense to me. That really makes sense to me, but my brain just freezes up. So I'm gonna work on that.
You can do it. Yeah, when I first started DJing, like, I was that same way. I was like, I don't want people to think I'm asking for favors.
Right.
And like, especially like in the black community, like, that's very hard. Like, people are kind of like have this crab in a barrel mentality where they're like, I need to make it before them. And I'm like, I eventually just looked at it, I'm like, there's enough money for all of us to go around, so I have to at least ask for what I want. Yeah. I can't expect it to come to the front door of like, hey, Blasé, you're one of the 1,000 DJs in Minnesota. We want you to do this thing. So I just started reaching out to companies, like, especially with this influencer thing. Like, I've been just reaching out to companies, like, saying, hey, this is my following. This is what I do. I can increase your engagement on your social media. And they work with it. So I actually have a partnership with the movie theater coming up pretty soon. I can't say too much about it, depending when this airs. But because I'm a big nerd. Like, a lot of people don't know that. They think I'm just like Mr. Too Cool, sunglasses on at night. And
I was hoping you were gonna bring those sunglasses for that episode.
I didn't bring my visor glasses. Next time.
Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm an introverted person, so now it's like, if I can get paid off doing the things I love, why would I not do it?
You and Juwan are like cut from the same cloth.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. We met Juwan. I met Juwan super random. I met him through the Ask a Guy podcast.
You did?
Yeah, he wasn't actually the one. I don't think. Don't kill me if I'm wrong, Juwan, but I'm pretty sure Aaliyah asked me to DJ their podcast.
Their live one?
Their live podcast.
I'm so sad I missed that.
Yeah, so I DJ'd that, and then the relationship kind of grew from there. I had seen him a couple times, and then we realized we were the same person.
I would have figured you guys knew each other a lot longer.
No, yeah, we just locked in. We just get it.
Wow, oh, that's cool. Yeah. Going back to what you said about the crabs in the bucket thing, I actually had an artist, Y. Khalik. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Cool. So I had him on. I'm sure, I don't know if you saw that episode. But
he asked for the fruit, right?
He was the one who asked for the fruit. I wasn't trying to throw shade, but he called it out.
Hey, fruit's good.
I asked him if he felt like there was this aspect of crabs in a bucket in Minnesota, because it's already a small, like, the Twin Cities is small.
Yep.
And I'm sure, like, the opportunities are even smaller. So have you had, what, like, kind of experiences have you had with that?
Yeah, I mean, it happens constantly. I think, like, it's kind of a mix of the small city plus the imposter syndrome that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are always looking at each other's social media. So a lot of people think they know each other off of the few clips they post. So a lot of people, like, for instance, I've had friends, like, close friends, who have, like, ran into me that I haven't talked to in a while. Like, I guess they're not close friends. They're friends that, like, I used to be close with at a moment in time. And since I've DJ'd, they haven't hit me up. I haven't hit them up. But when I run into them, they assume, like, I've gotten too cool for them. But I'm like, you haven't reached out to me even before the DJing. So it's, like, a weird mentality. And it's, like, a weird thing that happens in the city where they're, like, they assume something's happening for a certain reason. Where I'm like, I'm just introverted. Like, when I'm not DJing, big crowds aren't for me, but people assume it is for me. They're like, oh, you love, like, the shots and the women and all that. I'm like, I really just found a cool way to make money, and I like it.
That's good. I'm excited to get into that more.
But yeah, I think that's, like, a big thing in the city. So it's like the crabs in the barrel mentality is real here, but it's also, like, an illusion that people, like, think, oh, she's gonna treat me that way, so I'm gonna treat her that way first. So it's like, if you just treat people genuinely, then you shouldn't have to worry about anything, because there's nothing anyone can really take from me. Like,
that is so
if I mess up my twins partnership, that's on me. That's not on anybody else. Like, I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing. So it's like, me being nice to people and genuine can't hurt me.
That is so, yeah.
And that took me a while to realize that.
Kindness is free.
Yeah.
And, like, this is small and a little bit off topic, but I work at a front desk at LA Fitness.
Okay.
And I just say good morning to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, and I do... That's my job.
Yeah.
And people are so shocked by it. And, like, or if there's some conflict with a member in the gym, I just listen and I'm kind. And people are shocked. Like, kindness is, like, going away.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to be nice to someone. You have no idea the ripple effect that it has on it. Or
100%.
it has on other people. But what are you, kind of tying into what you were just saying, what would you say the biggest misconception is with you as a DJ? Because you kind of alluded to it already.
Yeah, I mean, I think biggest misconception is, like, I'm a womanizer. I'm just out all the time. I I'm always talking to more than one woman. Like, that's, like, a thing that I think is the biggest stigma. Like, people write me all the time saying that, like, oh, you must be da-da-da. And I'm like, you've literally never even heard my voice. Like, you have no idea what I'm like. But I get it.
Like, you get DMs of girls
yeah,
saying
yeah. Like, DMs, women will DM me, like, thinking they have a personality. And that's the hard thing about, like, we kind of had, like, alluded to this a little bit. But, like, the hardest thing for me is, like, dating as a DJ. Because people just assume I'm dating multiple women. And then the women that are attracted to me or that I attract at my shows are typically people who are out often. Like, they're kind of, like, in the circuit of going out.
Yes.
They're in this, like, hookup phase, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not that way.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are always shocked. Like, a lot of women think if I, like, turn them down, that it's because I'm talking to other women. Or, like, oh, you secretly have a girlfriend, you're not telling me. Or, like, whatever. That happens a lot.
So, like, while you're at a gig, a lot of girls will come up to you.
Oh, yeah.
What is, like, their go-to move?
Well, typically they'll just say, "Can I come on the stage?" Because they're pretty intoxicated by that point.
Hey!
So they're just like, "Hey, I want to come on the stage." Like, and I'm like, "Oh, no thanks." Like, I'm okay. Because like people when they're like drunk and they see this like cool DJ board with a bunch of lights, they want to like touch it and they have drinks and stuff. So I'm always like trying to be really nice. Because if I'm disrespectful, they're like, "Oh, Blasé's a dick. Like he wouldn't let me on the stage." So it's like a weird balance of like, "Hey, like I appreciate you supporting me, but like." I need you to go down. And it's, like, hard because there's, like, loud music. And they're like, what? What'd you say? I'm like, go, please.
Go
like,
away.
I'm like, go anywhere but here. But thank you for being here.
Have you ever picked up somebody from...
Never. I swear. On my mom's
Not
life.
even a phone number?
Not even a phone number. Instagram.
What?
Instagram. I always give out my Instagram. I won't give out my phone number.
Okay, then from the Instagram, are you picking them up?
I've never... let me think. Because I don't
yeah. If he's wrong, you guys better come out of the
Yeah, I was saying, if anybody knows, let me know. Have I ever got someone's Instagram and took them on a date? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Never.
Wow. So you're just not trying to pull from that pool?
Yeah, it's like you can't like mix work, business with pleasure. Like I try to keep them separate, but my job is like such like a fluid thing as far as it kind of goes into personal and like business. So it's really hard, but I try not to. I try to meet people who don't know I'm a DJ. Typically,
really?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's hard in a digital age when it's all over.
It's really hard. It's really hard, especially when people like Jawan and you guys ate me up saying, "Oh, he's famous." So, like, no, I'm not. I'm really regular.
You're the most famous person that's sat on this couch.
Like, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I'll take credit for it, so I appreciate it. But I don't know if that's completely true. So that's the hard part.
That's hard. So where ideally would you find a girl then?
I don't know. That's
the library. People have been telling me the library.
Well, that's what everybody says, the library, but I'm like, too quiet. I'm just going to walk up to you and be like, hey, you just are reading that book so nicely. What are you reading? Let's go out.
It sounds good.
Someone said that to me, I'd be like, why are you talking to me? I'm in like an introverted place.
I'm in a library.
Like, I'm here so no one will talk to me. That's how I feel. But that's just my mentality, I guess. But
I don't know. I've been also the gym is a nice place. I've been finding.
See, the gym is a nice place too, but it's also one thing. It's like one, I'm focused on working out. Two,
girls don't
it's like women don't really want to be approached that way. Like they're in a vulnerable place. They're they're wearing their skin tight clothing or whatever they want to wear. Their athleisure, whatever it is, or have makeup on, whatever it may be. So it's like I typically like let people have that space. Yeah. I see like the memes that women post and like the things they're frustrated about. I try to do the opposite. I'm just like, I'm gonna stay out y'all way. Like
so
I don't DM women. I try not to DM women.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Anything women post, like, because it's like you guys are constantly being like pestered by men. It's like
it's true.
I'm just gonna stay out the way.
So you're one of the good. Okay, but say you see a girl, you're out in the wilds, not at a DJ event.
Okay.
How would you shoot your shot then?
Probably wouldn't. I probably.
Okay, Jawan Jr.
I probably wouldn't. If it's supposed to happen, it'll happen.
How is it gonna happen if you don't shoot your shot?
I don't know.
You just wake up.
I found I've never DM'd a woman first and it ended well. Like I've gone on dates, but like typically when I shoot my shot, I feel like it causes problems. So it's like I let them find me. Yeah.
Like do you have an example?
Well, I mean, I've had some crazy exes in my life. I think we've all had crazy exes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have like a specific story, but it's like every woman that I think that I've been like, oh, like I put her on some pedestal, like, oh, I'm gonna do the right stuff, I'm a DM or I'm gonna do all these things. It's like it
doesn't work out. When's your birthday, by the way?
Guess. You're into signs?
Yeah.
Guess.
Are you a Leo as well?
I'm not. I love this game because every time someone thinks they know my sign, they never know it.
I just guessed Leo because of Jawan.
Oh, okay. Nope.
Gemini?
Mm-mm. I'll give you one more guess.
Okay. Cancer?
Nope. Libra.
You're a Libra too? I'm a Libra!
Shout out to us. Yeah. Look at us. Look at us go.
Wow, I didn't even sniff my own kind.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
October 4th.
October 10th, 10/10,
okay,
the best date.
That's a good one, 10/10. That's
easy
nice.
to remember.
Yeah, my whole family's Libras. My mom, my grandpa.
Wow.
My aunt on my dad's side. I have like 10 Libras in my family.
Wow, a blessing, because it's the best sign, so like, that's great. Wow, fellow Libra!
I don't know what any of this means. I'm not big on signs.
You're the best! That's just what it means.
I've gotten some Libra slander before.
Well, Libras I was going to say that when I was saying I'm indecisive.
Yeah.
That's because I'm a Libra, but I was like, I don't say that to everybody.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm very indecisive, and I think it's because I'm a Libra, or whatever.
I don't know if I'm indecisive. I don't think I'm indecisive.
Maybe you're better, a more evolved Libra.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
But yeah, I've heard Libra men are players.
See, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of men in general. Wow. See, look, this is how it starts.
Yeah, if you didn't, I think it's the mom. Your mom saved you.
Yeah, that's the thing. My mom, she was a young parent. She had me when she was 18. So any game that I learned is from my mom. She put me on how to treat women, but she also told me what to watch out from women. She taught me she just taught me how to read when women are being genuine and whatnot. Like, it's one of those things that she's just like, don't do this. Like, she just gotta make sure I didn't fall in like a stigma or something. Played. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, when I was a high schooler, I was such like a lover boy. I was just like, I'm just gonna bring a girl a teddy bear on the first date and do all that stuff. And my mom was like, relax, like, boy, you need to figure it out.
Cute.
Nah, not every woman's deserving of that right away.
No, I can understand.
You gotta be able to read it out, especially in high school. It's like most people don't even know what their personality is yet. Like, they're figuring it out. So it's like, for me to be like, this person could be my everything. That's crazy.
In high school.
But
you wouldn't bring a girl a teddy bear
on the first date?
Okay, second date. If it went really well.
By date 5.
5. She's gotta do 5 dates before she get a teddy bear.
Because my thing is, I'm big on consistency.
Me too.
Because everyone could be good on a first date. Well,
That's
not
true.
everybody, but the people who can't be good on a first date, especially a man, all you have to do is listen. Like, all you have to do is listen and ask intentional questions. Like, if you can do that, you're good. So it's like, first date is easy. It's really easy to like make us both look perfect. We could both look like politicians on the first date.
I do kill a first
date.
But
yeah, but then once you get comfortable and you've been texting consistently, it's like them slip ups start happening.
Do you like texting every day?
Every day? Every day? No. I should pull up my phone right now to see how many unread texts I have. I'm terrible.
Oh my god.
It's like 4 something right now. It's bad. Because like, I need to have a work phone. I don't, but I have one phone. So it's like, I'm constantly getting asked questions and these things. So it's like, sometimes I just would like, when we see each other, that's good. But if texting is fine. Like, I have another question for you after I answer this. Like, texting is fine, but like, don't expect consistent texting. Okay.
I've been shifting my brain with that a little bit since my episode with Joanne, because I was literally appalled.
Really?
I was appalled that he didn't think that he should say.
Okay, what's your opinion on good morning text?
I like a good morning text, and hear me out. It doesn't. I like it, and it doesn't have to be like as soon as after the first date. Like, I get that.
Okay.
But like, if you're dating someone for real, say good morning, just check in at the very least. And we don't have to text all day, but as long as you like let me know you're thinking about me, that for me it goes a long way, and it just makes me feel special. And then say some things throughout the day. It doesn't have to be like, if the conversation's dry, we don't have to force it.
Right.
But like, I just think you should want to talk to your person, and it doesn't have to be all day. But you should check in.
Okay, and this is boyfriend? Or this is just dating, like...
getting serious into boyfriend.
Okay. But the thing is, if he sends you a good morning text Monday through Thursday, right? He sends you good morning every day.
Yeah.
Then Friday he forgets. Doesn't your mind automatically know something's wrong?
My stomach drops.
He's cheating or like... Yeah, see, that's the thing. That expects a lot. Because you don't know what he's carrying on that day. You don't know if he's I have such a stressful day. Like, I get situational. Like, if you have like a big meeting, or like you get to... interview Beyonce on your podcast. We'll speak into existence. You interview Beyonce. Day of, your man should be like, hey, I know this is a big day for you. Yes. I hope you're good. That's different. But if I'm just texting you good morning with a heart every day, that's just me doing something to check a box, which isn't as important.
I hear you. I do. Okay, so if you don't say the good morning, which I can understand, I hear your point.
Yeah.
are you checking in on her at some point throughout the
day?
For
sure.
Okay, that is...
For sure.
Jawan made it sound like he won't even talk to her all day.
Jawan is an extremist. He's like either extreme yes or extreme no. He doesn't really have like a middle. So you kind of got to read through the lines with Jawan. Like, I'm the same way as him though. Like, I just deliver it differently. But like, I agree. Like, I think that's a high expectation. Like, women have this like laundry list for men, but it's like the energy's not always matched.
Speak more on it, because I've been hearing that a lot.
Like, in the dating process, like, what's really expected from a woman?
What would you expect?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't have an expectation. I go into it open-minded. But women, before the guy even gets to the date, you're like, he's got to pay the bill. He's got to send good morning texts. He's got to be intentional. He's got to do this. Women, really, all the goal is, like, I'm going to be pretty and be there.
And have good cat.
But that's like standard. That's regular.
Yeah.
Like, I was just talking to a woman about that. I was just talking about, I'm like, because she has a boyfriend and he does everything for her as far as like financially, all this stuff. And I'm like, what do you bring to the table? Like, no shade. What do you bring to the table? She's like, I'm fun. I'm like, and she said, I'm nice. And I'm like, nice that's expected. That's standard.
I think women we are like safety.
Okay.
Like, we're consistent, we're there, we help amplify whatever you're doing and, like, be your support system. That's what I feel like at least I bring.
Okay.
And I'm fun. I'm always down to go and have fun. I can make you laugh. I'll try my best. Like, I feel like I'm good at reading the situation and, like, doing what I need to do in the moment. Like, I'm good. I don't know how you would categorize that, but that's how I said what I bring.
You're like a chameleon in the relationship.
I'm a chameleon. I really am. And I think that's what I bring to the table. That's why, I do have a laundry list. Okay. I don't expect that.
Can we hear this list?
Yeah, well, like, some of the things you said already. First of all, you have to be funny. If I'm not laughing with you, I'm just so bored.
Humor is important.
It's everything, because at the end of the day, like, I want to be able to laugh at you when there's, like, bad shit going on.
Right.
You know, like, that, I'm huge with comedic relief. Okay. I don't know if it's a trauma response, but that's what it is.
Okay, that we should talk about that, because I might agree, because I'm the same way.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I laugh through every moment. Yeah. Like, I laugh more than I should.
You have to.
Yeah.
So that funny, have a passion, like, if it's your job, if it's your side gig, if it's painting, if it's writing, journaling, reading books, don't care. Have something that you're passionate about that is, like, outside of video games, social media, that type of thing.
What if they were passionate about being a streamer? What if they wanted to go viral for
That's
video
cool
games?
too, but, like, yeah, I guess that's fine. And I have no problem with guys playing video games. Like, go do that. Like, please. But, like, communication, being able to, like, have emotional intelligence, you don't have to cry to me, but, like, be able to express how you feel about situations and not have it just be anger and aggression. Because I understand, like, we've talked about this on previous episodes, we haven't always allowed the space for men to be able to express all of those things.
Right.
And I expect my person coming in to have done some of that work already, because I have. Okay,
that's fair.
I don't expect them to pay for everything, but I think the first couple things, like, I expect to be courted.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah.
I love how you said it with, like, a big gulp. You're like, is that allowed? Like, is courting allowed? No, I respect it. I think I'm old school in that way, but like, a lot of times with, like, this old school mentality where women are like, man, should be the provider. I'm like, in those times, women, like, only were in the kitchen.
True.
And it's like, that's not really a thing anymore. Like, now women are girl bosses and, like, doing all these great things, which I love that. But the standards have changed.
That's true. And I guess I also do that. I love cooking for people too. Like, so I do have some of those traditional, like, things within me. This is not me being a pick-me girl. I'm just saying.
She's a good cook, okay?
Yeah, I just, like, that's part of, like, my love language. I love cooking for people, and when they love it and they get seconds, I'm like, ah! Like,
so if you're dating a guy,
how
early on do you cook for him? Like, would you cook for him first date? Does
I do, like, third date.
Second, third date, okay.
I don't hold it that close to me. Maybe I should, because I am pretty good in the kitchen.
Okay, talk your stuff.
No, I would do, like, a good second, third date, just so, like, he doesn't feel like he has to pay for everything. Like, I feel like that's my own, like, I can plan something too.
Okay.
So I would do that.
What are you cooking? What's the...
Sorry,
we don't flip the pod. I'm just asking you
questions. I love this.
I'm the host.
I'm the host.
I'm the host.
I love figuring out what they like, because I mean, this is TikTok, so I can make anything or try to.
You're that confident that you're like...
I will try.
If I've never cooked
lobster, I'm not doing that.
Okay. But if you've never cooked it, you're confident, like, second date, I'm going to be able to execute this meal.
I'll be nervous.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I probably won't even eat the food myself because I'll be nervous.
You watch it like, first couple bites, how is it?
But I know how to season,
okay.
so I feel like I can make something taste good.
Okay.
No fish. Like, I know my limits.
Okay, so there's some things you're like, I can't do.
I wouldn't touch, like, lobster, steak, things that I don't really eat.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't do. But
okay,
yeah.
That's fair.
So, yeah. I think, we were talking about my list. Yeah, honesty, trustworthy, like, have your own passions, family-oriented. Like, these are all things that I would ideally have. I can, of course, bend and waver on some of them.
Right.
But, yeah, like, I feel like my standards are pretty normal.
That's not a lot. But we've all seen lists that women have.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
extensive.
Wrong.
But the truth is, I don't know very many women who stick to that list.
That's my whole argument. What's the point of the list?
Because you want to have goals, right? You have
but
to
it
have
seems
goals.
like the guys that women end up with don't check a lot of those boxes. Like, probably negative on some of this things. Like, you could have took a little bit from this category and took it over here. Like, this is like a double negative up here.
Why is that? I don't know.
Because people don't like to be alone.
I know.
People don't like to be alone. I love being alone. And people don't understand that.
What do you like about it? What do you like about it?
Well, being an only child, who my mom worked all the time, so I just was home a lot. So it's like, I love my independence in that, and it takes a lot for me to welcome someone into kind of my safe place, because like I'm always in social settings as far as my job, so it's like a lot of times I don't want to go to a restaurant that's super packed. Like, I would much rather us like eat in the crib or do something like that. But that's hard because it's in my profession, women think I'm like hiding them. They think I'm like, I don't want to bring them up. Yeah, that happens a lot. Women are like, oh, you don't want to go on a date with me because like afraid you're gonna run into one of your girls. I'm like, that's not it. I was like, I just don't want to get stopped and like Blasé, because then I have to be like on. I have to be like, what's up? Like, how are you? I might not remember your name, but like, pleasure to see you, and like, thanks for supporting me. So it's like, I don't ever get to turn that part of my brain off if I'm out in public, because I'm like kind of always aware of stuff. So I typically prefer to be like in places that people aren't.
That makes sense, but have you had that conversation with like a person you're dating?
Yeah, but women don't ever. Well, I've had, but if I'm like they're my girlfriend by that time, then they understood.
Yeah.
But it's typically the dating process leading up to it. Like, that's because women have their own insecurities that are like, and their own traumas from relationships, which is valid. Like, I totally understand that, but it's like, how do you show someone that they're like, oh, like, you talk, like, you know a lot of women, like, because if you look at my Instagram, like, I have a lot of great women supporters. Like, so it's like, if you commented on my posts, they're like, oh, this is a super dope picture. They're like, oh, you must date her. I'm like, just met her for the first time yesterday. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's like, I get it, because there are men out here who are like serial cheaters. Like, I've seen some crazy stuff DJing. Like, I've seen some wild stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've seen significant others cheat all the time. Like, I've seen
crowds.
I've seen girls leave their boyfriends in the crowd to like try to come on stage to like talk to my friends on stage. Yeah, multiple times, like a lot.
Is that part of the reason why you don't like to try to date from that?
Yeah, I don't know anyone's backstory, and it's like me being on a stage with lights and like me running the mic. It's like I look way more attractive on the stage of like, whoa, this guy's like doing it all, versus like you haven't heard my voice as far as like what I like. You don't know what I'm into. You just like the aesthetic of me, and I totally get that. Like, Beyonce looks way greater on the stage than like. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true. That's a bad example.
I mean, she probably
looks great. Either way, that was a bad example.
But
like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're on the spotlight and it's like a whole room is looking at you, it's like, whoa, this guy looks dope. Like, I want to meet him. And then a lot of women like make it a challenge, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm not even like here for that. But a lot of DJs are into that, which is fine. Like, no shade to them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's very easy to get women attention when you're DJing.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you drink?
So when I first started DJing, I didn't drink for the first 2.5 years. Because I was like nervous about that, because I was like, I need to be like, because it's like my 9 to 5, so it's like I need to be focused. I can't be like slurring my words or like figuring out the songs, and it's hard because I get so much free liquor to me offered in one night.
That's what I was wondering.
And it's hard because it's like if I take a shot from you but don't take it from someone else, again they're like, oh, he thinks he's too good for my drink, and I'm like, bro, that's like 10 shots I've been offered tonight. Like, I can't do that and drive myself home.
Blackout, oh my god, you already get the Sunday scaries when you do that, but then at work, in your career.
Exactly. That's what I'm like, I try to stay away from it. I'm like, free liquor is cool, but it's like, I'd rather just pay me more. Like, just pay me more money and you can keep the liquor. I normally just give drinks to my friends. So like, Jawan doesn't drink, but if I have a friend with me, if you're with me on stage, someone comes up, they're like, hey, I want to buy you a drink. I'm like, yeah, I'll do, what do you want to drink? I'll like lean over my shoulder and ask you. You'll say, I want like a tequila soda. I'm like, I'll do tequila soda. They go grab it, come back. I'll be like, all right, I'm going to do it after I change the song. Give me 1 second, and they'll walk away. And then I'll be like, oh, I drank it already. And I gave it to you already. It's a little DJ tip.
That's,
Yeah, so sometimes if you give me drinks, I haven't drank them every time. I'll be honest. This is the place. But I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. The sentiment's really nice, but my friends, thank you. They've enjoyed it.
Yeah, so. They've gotten drunk off of
100%.
Your benefit. Thank y'all.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I try not to drink too much when I'm DJing. Like, it's funny, like for a while I was drinking like wine while I DJ. People thought that was really funny. Yeah, I'm like trying to be like a wine connoisseur out here. But I typically don't.
Okay, you've been saying Blasé, so it's not J.Blasé.
It is J.Blasé.
But you just are.
Yeah, it's just Blasé's gotten shortened. It's like my nickname was Blasé before I started DJing.
Where did it come from?
So my buddy Timmy Price, shout out to him. He gave me the nickname like the year before I started DJing because I had another name. I used to do a YouTube channel for shoe reviews, which is crazy.
So you also like shoes like Joanne?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We're the same person. We bond over a lot of stuff. So I used to have a YouTube channel. My name on that was Mr. Shoelace. All the videos are hidden. You'll never find them. I get that question a lot.
Somebody break it.
Yeah, somebody tries to find it out. They're all hidden on a YouTube channel that you'll never know. So my name on their Instagram was Mr. Shoelace, and I had all these shoe videos and shoe pictures, and I'd stopped doing it. And my buddy Timmy Price was like, you need a new name, like you need something. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then eventually, like, he came up with Blasé, and I was like, okay, because like the black term Blasé blah, like so on and so forth. So he just started calling me Blasé. And then that same year, randomly, and this is like God honest truth, that same year the song Blasé by Ty Dolla $ign and Ray Sherman and all them came out after he already gave me the nickname. So when I had made my social media, the name just stuck. Like everyone knew how to pronounce it, everything. Because I used to spell it Blazay, because you can't do an accent on Instagram.
Oh.
So I used to spell it different so people knew how to pronounce it. But then once the Blasé song dropped, everyone knew. Then I just changed it to I'm J.Blasé. And then when I started DJing, I just put DJ in front of it.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Everything crazy. In your career so far that you've shared seems like it just happened, like right time, right place, like meant to happen.
I mean, in the moment, it never feels like the right time. Like, you know, you're like, I'm waiting on the next big break. But, like, when I look at my career, it has happened really organically. Like, and that's why I try to be my authentic self. Like, when I first started DJing, I was like, I need to be this, like, larger-than-life character. And, like, I have these big aspirations. And it's like, once I looked inward and started looking at, like, what makes me happy, everything else kind of fell into place. Like, it got way easier. Like, I was like, I was like trying to push a wall at first. And then once I was like, I don't need to do this, it's like everything started naturally doing itself.
That's so cool.
Pretty awesome.
I love that. That's very inspirational because I kind of feel like I'm in the mix of it right now.
Yeah, 100%. The first like couple years of entrepreneurship, it's really just like testing, can you do it? It's like the longevity. So it's like you put in the work on the front end, and then it's like it kind of gets easier. Like you get different like variables that are stressful, but it's like once you know who you are as a person and what your goal is, and like you kind of figure out like your mission statement, it gets so much easier because you're like, I know my like gold standard of what I'm trying to meet. So it makes it way easier to not like for instance, for me, when I first started DJing, I thought I needed to be in every club. I was like, I need to do all the clubs. I need to do all these things. Like, I need to be in the black clubs. I need to be in the white clubs. Like, I just need to be this club person. And after like 2-3 years of DJing, I was like, this is like taking a lot of energy away from me that I didn't feel like I was getting refilled. Like, I was getting the money I wanted, but I still wasn't like fully happy. And I was like, it's because I'm not really passionate about clubs. I'm passionate about bringing people together through music, but it doesn't need to be in the club.
Yeah.
So that's when I like shifted my branding a little bit, and I stopped doing clubs. So like I don't really do club stuff anymore. I try to do more. I try not to. Like I haven't done club stuff since like last fall. I've like tried to stop doing it, and it was like I was nervous about that. I was like, this is stressful. So I left one of my main residencies, quit that, and then that same week the Timberwolves reached out to me to do like an influencer thing. So it was like, okay, like.
That is such a sign.
Yeah, it was like such a thing. I was like, okay, because like I was like leaning on like my best friends, like people I'm really close to. Like I was like talking their ear off, like, what do you think? Like, am I tripping? Like, what do I do? And they're like, just like trust you. Like you've got this far, trust you. And once I quit, that same week or like within 7 days, they reached out. I was like, hey, do you want to do an influencer for the Timberwolves stuff? And I was like, okay, so this is cool. This is showing like the influencer thing. So it's pretty awesome.
I love that, and that makes me so happy for you because I'm so big on. If you follow your dreams, if you do what's right for you, and you cut things out that are not meant for you, things are going to start falling into place. And that is exactly like what happened. The universe
starts shifting, for real.
Holy
it's like crazy.
Crap.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god.
So it's like really natural. Like I never wanted to be in this like influencer lane. Like it's really hard for me to like call myself an influencer because I'm not like super viral or anything like that. But people see the significance of me being authentic. So it's like now my voice means a lot because I don't do everything. So it's like I don't do a lot of stuff, but the stuff I do, I coastline hard. So my following's like, okay, if Blasé rocks this, he's not doing it to try to sell us stuff. He's doing it because he generally thinks it's good for us.
Wow.
So like the twins thing, I don't feel like I'm ever selling people stuff. And I like made that really important to them in the meetings. I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm just trying to like sell tickets and do these things. Like I want people to come out for experiences. Like we need more experiences in Minnesota. Like people have them, but people don't know like how to reach them and get to them. It's like a Twins game. You don't have to be a fan of baseball. You can go there, have a slice of pizza, and treat it like the fair. And it's like
it was fun.
It's a safe environment.
Yeah.
It's fun music. You know, there's cool merch. You see a bunch of people. Excuse me. So I just like that's what I promote more than like the everyone buy a ticket to this. I'm like I got a discount for you because they rock with me. Use the discount. Have fun. Like,
so cool. I love that because that's one of the things when I was moving back from Chicago. I was like, I'm never moving back to Minnesota. It's so boring. It's so boring. It's not.
Right. It
actually is not, and I'm so sorry that I
it's a stigma.
I know. But it's actually, the Twin Cities is dope.
Yeah.
Like, and we have the best of both worlds. We have beautiful lakes. We have beautiful, like, bars, restaurants, views, like, everything. We really do have it all. I was unaware.
It took me a long time because, like, DJing honestly made me venture out because I was, like, so tired of clubs. I was like, I want to do other stuff. So then I started going to, like, places like Minnetonka and hanging out with my friends out there at restaurants because I was, like, not worried about running into people there. And then it's, like, it was more, like, eye-opening as far as, like, oh, there's dope stuff to do here. Like, there's actually things you can do besides, like, going out every weekend.
Crazy.
But everyone goes out every weekend. That's a good thing.
Okay, so isn't T-Pain coming Thursday?
He is.
You gonna meet him?
I don't know about that. I will see. I'm gonna get like some all access stuff, whatever that means. Hopefully, T-Pain's a big part of my like music love. So,
oh my gosh!
Because he dropped when I was in like 7th grade or something.
I'll be looking for the picture.
Like, well, fingers crossed. We'll speak into existence. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't want everyone to get excited to think it's happening.
You're gonna meet T-Pain on Thursday.
I'll tweet him after this and see what he says. We'll see if we can get him. I don't have the pull like that.
He's amazing. Oh my god, that's gonna be so cool. So he's just doing a concert after the game.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. The Twins are doing this new series where they're having concerts after. So your ticket, exactly. So your ticket counts as the concert ticket. So basically, get a seat wherever you want. They're super cheap tickets, and then like 30 minutes after he'll perform. They did it last year with like a country artist, and they're doing one other country artist this year. But I was like T-Pain, like,
that is so
why
smart.
not? So
there you go. That's how you get people out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I think like people are realizing like our culture has so many layers. Like people are kind of like figuring that out, especially like businesses. So it's cool to see people being like, oh, hip hop culture is part of Minnesota. Like, I love Prince. Prince is great, but like there's more black culture than just Prince. So it's cool to see them being like, oh, people actually like the T-Pain thing. Like that's why I want like, especially our people of color and like anybody who's a fan of stuff, like support the things you want so that Minnesota can continue to do it.
Yes.
Because if people don't go to this and they're like, oh, they don't do that stuff anymore, it's like they're like, well, no one bought it. So it's like I always tell people like support the stuff you want, and then you can't complain. If it doesn't happen, you know. So
when you go into these meetings with like the Twins and the Timberwolves, are you by yourself?
Yeah, I don't have any agent or anything. It's kind of crazy.
What is it like going into? Are you scared?
I used to be like it was like more like a butterfly thing, no pun intended. But yeah, I have a corporate background with Wells Fargo, so I've been in like big meetings and dealt with like large sums of money. But now it's like the only part I get butterflies for, it's like this is for me, like this is Blasé and friends. So it's like it kind of motivates me, and it's cool to like have my ideas heard. Like the Twins, like I have an open line of contact. Shout out to my guy Taylor, who's like the rep for me. So I like hit him up and be like, hey, this is the kind of content I want to do, and he'll talk to the Twins, reach back out to me and be like, they like this, they want to do this. So it's like he's kind of my voice for the Twins. So it's pretty cool. So and it's like they actually hear my opinion. They're like, I don't know why we didn't think of that. I'm like, this is so dope. Like it's like what you said, like like how we were talking about 9 to 5s is like not hearing like being valued. It's like they give me the value of being like, we like your idea, we see you. And even if they don't like it or like they want to pivot, they're like, we like this, but can we switch it? Versus being like, that's a dumb idea or whatever. Yeah. So it's like it makes me way more comfortable. It's really cool. Yeah.
That's good to hear. And like I also have to remind myself, like when you're in those rooms, these are human beings too. Yeah. Like they all are just there for a job, and like it's not as scary. Yeah. I get in my head a lot. So I like hearing these things.
Yeah. Are you like, do you have like an internal monologue that's like constantly talking to you? Yeah. I'm the same way.
I have like very, like, I'm in therapy. Shout out to therapy.
Yeah.
But I've been working on that a lot, and I didn't realize that's, like, not normal.
Therapy?
I mean, everyone, no.
Or the internal monologue.
Anxiety. I just thought everyone operated that way. Yeah. And a lot of people do, but it doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just, like, learning different skills and coping mechanisms, like, chill the fuck out. Like, you don't need to be stressed.
One of my closest friends doesn't have an internal monologue.
What are they called? NPCs?
I don't. She literally, like, can only think in, like, pictures. Like, she doesn't have a voice. Like, so she has to, like, say it out loud. So she doesn't, like, if you're like, I'm gonna reach for this cup, like, her mind's not like, grab the cup. And it's like, yeah, that's the face I constantly am asking questions. Like, if we're sitting in the car just driving and she's quiet, I'm like, what you thinking about? She's like, nothing. Why did you ask that? And I'm like, what? Like, it blows my mind.
How?
So it's, like, humbled me a lot because it's like, I'm constantly overthinking and you're over here just, like, having the best time. So it's like, I need to channel that.
How do you do that?
Yeah,
I actually, the only time I think I ever get like that is if I'm listening to music.
Okay, yeah, music's good. Like, gym sometimes.
No, still I'm
never
thinking at
really?
the gym. Yeah, well, I'm listening to music, so maybe I'm,
doing a little bit of both.
No.
Yeah, like if she watches a movie, like, you know how movies, like, say the movie Mean Girls, where, like, Lindsay Lohan's talking about, she's, like, talking to herself, but so the crowd can hear. She didn't understand people thought like that. Like, she didn't realize Lindsay Lohan was, like, having an internal monologue. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like,
it must be so peaceful.
That's what I said. So it's like I try to, like, lean into that a little bit. I'm like, I could empty out some of these thoughts, and it's like sometimes obviously thoughts are gonna overwhelm me, and like we all get in our, like, pockets of, like, I'm not good enough for doing what I'm doing, like imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. But you just gotta kind of reset it when it happens.
How did you overcome those feelings when you first started DJing, or even now?
I mean, I think every time I have those feelings, like, a sign kind of shows me I'm supposed to be doing it. So it's cool, like, as far as, like, leaving that residency, I was like, maybe I'm not good enough to be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be in the club. Like, my mind was on both sides of it. It wasn't like I'm ready to upgrade my life. Like, I was just kind of like, this seems weird, but I could be wrong. And it's like, once you take that initial leap, it's like you get rewarded for doing it. So that has allowed me to, like, get out of my head a little bit. I still in my head a lot, though. Like, that's why I like being alone, because it's like, I process all my ideas in my head, then I'll, like, write them in my notes. And I could be getting inspiration from, like, movies, or like I was literally watching movies and I was like, I should reach out to a movie theater to, like, have a partnership.
Holy cow.
So then I just, like, tracked down the email and then we did it.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's like I tell everyone to just attempt everything that they can, because worst thing that happened, like, if I email someone right now and they say no, it's like, I'm still on the same couch. Exactly. I'm still good. Like, only thing
no means nothing.
Yeah.
It means
but it's like, just think about what happens if it is a yes.
Exactly.
It's like, why not me? Why don't I deserve this thing? Versus being like, I don't know if I deserve this thing.
I hope y'all are feeling motivated, because I am. Oh my gosh. You should add a motivational speaker to the mix.
No. I'm not. I hate big crowds. People think it's so crazy. I can talk on a mic. If there's music playing, I can talk on a mic and, like, how's everybody feeling? Da, da, da. But if everyone was just, like, in there in silence, I'd be like, I'm out of here. Like, so.
People think I'm good at it because I smile when I do it. It's
right.
I'm nervous.
That's how I feel. I'm just ready to get off the stage right now. Yeah. People are like, you just look so comfortable up there.
I, like, leave a pool of sweat underneath
100%.
me. So tell me why you stopped clubbing or doing the clubs. Like, what built up to that experience, or to that point, and then what you're doing now.
So clubs just kind of got really overwhelming, as far as, like, it's hard when there's a lot of people who are having a good time, but it's only, like, enforced by liquor. So it was, like, hard for me because it was depleting a lot of energy for me, because, again, that wasn't my, like, forte.
Yep.
Because when I first started DJing, I was like, oh, our clubs aren't fun, which is why I don't have fun at the club. So I was like, if I start DJing in the clubs, then I can, like, change the aesthetic or the environment of it. But then I was like, I'm still not having a good time, and it's just, like, a lot of politics in it. You know, there's sketchy promoters, and you gotta watch your back for violence and stuff. You got drunken women falling all on you, so it's just like every time I had to get ready for a show, it would be like almost like anxiety of, like, I guess have to, like, my head's always on a swivel or whatever. So I got away from it.
That's
and
good.
Now I do more, like, corporate stuff. So I get the Twins partnership.
Delta.
I got the DJ for Delta.
Are they giving you free miles?
They're not giving me free miles. I wish. That'd be great.
What the heck?
But they paid me a lot that I could take some flights.
Okay.
So yeah, they took care of me. It was really awesome. I actually DJ'd the guy's wedding last year.
Oh.
And then he was like, hey, we have this event for Delta, which was called AMT Day. It was, like, celebrating their tooling department. So it wasn't their pilots, it was the people who work on the planes.
Okay.
And they were celebrating, a year of safety and all this good
That's
stuff.
awesome.
So they were like, we want you to come on DJ. It was kind of like a barbecue environment, but it was in a hangar, which was pretty awesome.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, it felt very James Bond. I was like taking like a go-kart under planes. I had to like search all my stuff. It was like nuts. I got to drive like along. When you're like on the plane and you're like waiting to take off and you like see cars driving, you're like, oh, they must be really important. I was one of the cars and I wasn't important.
Told you.
I was like, you'd never think a DJ.
Celebrity.
You'd never think a DJ was on a runway though. I'm just like going 50 miles an hour taking video. I was like shocked. I was like, this is crazy. Like what?
A plane could
they had
take
to like search my car. They had to like do a bunch of stuff because it's like because I'm like skipping. So I was honestly like. I was relieved how safe they were. Yeah. I was like, okay, it's good to know that it's like you don't just bypass security. Delta. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Delta. They didn't pay me for this, but shout out to Delta. So it was really cool, and the staff was really awesome, and it was cool. They want to have me come back. So
Delta, if you need a podcast,
there you go.
I'm happy to be service to you.
I'm just gonna have an entourage. We'll be like, you have to pay all my people individually to come.
I'm happy to just take flights.
Okay, there you go, just flights.
An open backseat, even the toilet, I'll take as long as it's free.
I want a Delta job. Like I want like one shift a month just for the free flights because they get hooked up.
Seriously.
Let's go. Let's work the same shift.
I'm scared of flying though. I'm terrified now. Okay, I need to not say that because words are powerful and I'm working on that. Okay. But no, after my flight to Puerto Rico, like I've already had flight anxiety, but that like really like
what happened?
It went down like this, like 5 minutes into the flight. I swear to God. And then there's a lady next to me who passed out because she thought we were gonna die. Like everyone on the plane screamed and was like, "Ah!"
What airline was this? Was it Spirit?
It was American Airlines, I think.
Oh, that's not bad. I don't know. I don't know what happened then. I don't know.
If it was Spirit, I really thought
I was like, it was Spirit. You got to brought on yourself.
Oh my God, no.
Spirit gets a lot of crap now. I used to fly Spirit a lot before DJing.
I did back in the day with my parents, but I won't ever. I wouldn't.
As like a 23-year-old dude, I was like, I get to get to Miami and
on $3.
Yeah, I was like $50. Let's go. I would have spent that today on food. Let's go.
You have to like pay for your oxygen, pay for your seatbelt, pay for everything.
I think that's just like a troll thing. I don't think it's that bad. I haven't been in a while, but I will say when I flew to Spirit, when I went to Miami I flew Spirit to Miami when I was like not working. When I got to Miami. There was like a ticketing issue for a plane. I would flew Spirit. I went there. I had to like get my bag or something. I had to go to the counter for something. I don't remember what I had to go to the counter for. But there was like a whole issue. There was a big line. Like there was a bunch of stuff going on and people's like flights got delayed and it was like crazy. And I like went on Instagram and I think I like followed like Baller Alert at the time or something. And that there was a fight. Like there's like a giant fight 15 minutes after I just left there. Like I literally was in the car after just being there. And it was like everyone at the terminal was fighting. Like women were pulling each other's hair. Like weed flying everywhere. I was like, I was just there. I literally was just at this airline. It was like a crazy brawl. I was like, this is such a funny story.
Have you seen those kind of brawls in the club?
I think I have a unscathed record as far as no fights. I've seen a fight happen when I was setting up for DJing. But when I DJ, I really try to go into the like atmosphere of like reading the room. So it's like if people get too pent up on energy, I try to like bring it back a little bit. Because that typically is what happens. Like people don't realize like a lot of the times you have a bad night. Like a lot of the times when there's fights at the club or whatever, it's like that person's having a bad day. They had to wait in a long line for cover. And then the DJ sucks. Someone steps on their like new forces. So it's like they're automatically just like on go mode. So I typically try to like bring people to a certain peak. I try to like take them on like a roller coaster ride, how I view it. So it's like I start the night out like with throwbacks, whatever, and I kind of just ramp the night up into the new music, and then the last 30 minutes I'll end with R&B. So that way people like leave, and I'm like, this is the time where you get the girl's number you've been wanting, whatever. Because like no one's fighting to Usher. Like if you're fighting Usher, you got a problem.
Got real problems.
So yeah, so it's like I really try to slow it down. It's like the last 15 to 30 minutes. That's what I was doing at the club.
So there's like a craft to it.
Yeah, there's an art to it. Like but every DJ has their own technique. That's why I try not to like watch other DJs because I don't want to like take on their like style. Like every DJ has their own style, so it's like I can't steal from you if I don't know you're doing it.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier. But
people think it's music. How can you?
Just like how you transition, or if you transition to, like if you're one person who like started to transition from one song into one song, if that's like your thing, and then someone's like, Blasé was doing that last week. I'm like, I've never even seen this person DJ. That kind of beef
happens for real.
I mean, it's more like a tension thing. It's not like beef. I've never had a DJ like approach me or anything.
Hey, you play that song after that song.
Yeah, a lot of DJs didn't really rock with me at first though because they didn't understand where I came from, like, because I just like popped up out of nowhere. I was self-taught. Really? I never had like a big homie in the DJ game. So it's like when I was getting these residencies, DJs are kind of like, how are you getting these shows and I've never even heard of you? And it's like because of my business backset. Like there's a lot of DJs that are better than me as far as technique, but no one's like as well rounded as me. Like that's what I stand on. I can say that confidently that it's like the business side plus being personable plus being able to DJ is really rare. So it's like the DJs that are doing that. Shout out to them. There's a few of them. I'm not gonna shout everyone out because I just forget. I forget people's names, and if I say one person's name and not another, it's a whole thing. But there's a few DJs that I respect in the city that are like doing good stuff and like have good hearts. But then there's some DJs that aren't, and that's fine. Like if you're just in it for fun, if you're young and you just want free liquor and a couple Instagram posts, that's you. That's totally fine. Like I just want longevity in anything I do.
This is your career.
Yeah, it's my career, and I don't think I'll DJ forever. Like I'm 30 now, so it's like eventually I don't want to be the dude all grays, just like. Remember this song? Like,
we're gonna take it back now.
We're real Dirk cool. Like we're not gonna play any of that Dirk. Like whatever. So it's like now I'm just kind of using my likeness for more fun stuff and more community based. And like DJing will always be my back pocket. Like I always love it, but eventually I would like other incomes to be my main source. Totally. And DJ being more of a hobby because I think I would have more fun with it if it wasn't like
it'll stay your passion.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be like people like get older and they start like doing like pottery and stuff like that. It's like DJing will be like my thing to lean back on. Like I'll revisit it later.
Yeah, you're gonna be the uncle at the barbecues.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have so many like high schoolers that I mentor who are like, Blasé, you're gonna DJ my wedding, right? And I'm like, well, if you're like in 10 years, like I don't want to DJ your wedding when I'm 40. No, it's like I don't even know if I'll know the songs anymore. Like, I'm gonna be outdated. Eventually, I'm not gonna be opening up Spotify. There'll be 3 updates later, and I'll be like, I don't know how to use this app.
There's no way you ever get to that point. You like
we're all gonna get that way.
Music.
Look at our parents.
I mean, I know I'm that way, but I've always just listened to my mom's music.
But are you like tech savvy?
I wouldn't say the most.
But eventually, you'll be like out of tech. Like eventually, you're gonna be like, how do I use an iPhone?
Oh, it stretches me out to think about that.
Ugh.
But where are you transitioning now? So from the clubs to where you are
Director's cut. So sorry to stop the episode at such a juicy, pivotal question. I know, I'm so sorry about that, but this conversation was so amazing and it was so authentic and genuine. I had to make a part 2. So how lucky for us that we get 2 episodes with DJ J.Blasé. So make sure y'all go and follow him at I'm J.Blasé. It is IMJBLASE on Instagram. And we will be back next Sunday with part 2 of this amazing conversation. Love y'all. Bye.